Hi guys, welcome back to YouTube channel Chemistry Live UGPG. Today we'll talk about valence bond theory lecture 1. So I have a simple message for you guys. Please think for innovation, be creative, learn everywhere, anytime and help to learn others. So today we'll discuss the bonding in coordination compounds or transition metal complexes. So mostly we'll discuss the valence bond theory. So while discussing the bonding in coordination compounds, we should know what are the theoretical backgrounds, and mainly we'll discuss here the valence bond theory, coordination number, hybridization, and 6 coordinate complex types and its magnetic properties. So while talking about the theory behind the bonding in coordination compounds, we need to know valence bond theory, then crystal field theory, and molecular orbital theory. So to explain the bonding in transition metal complexes, 3 different theories have been put forwarded. So first is valence bond theory. It is given by L. Pauling and J. L. Slater in the year 1935. The next is crystal field theory. It is given by H. Bethe in 1929 and J. Van Vleck in 1932. Similarly, molecular orbital or ligand field theory was given by J. Van Vleck in 1935. So this valence bond theory deals with electronic structure of the central metal ion and its ground state. So it will tell us about the kind of bonding, basically coordinate bond, and geometry of the complexes, and the magnetic properties of the complexes. So the mechanism behind this valence bond theory is first is the orbital availability. So the central metal or ion provide empty sp(d) orbitals equal to its coordination number. So here you can see different sp(df) orbitals, and they will hybridize to give rise to equal number of hybrid orbitals that are of equivalent energy and shape. So those equivalent energies may be equivalent hybrid orbitals may be sp3, dsp2 or sp3d or d2sp3 like that. Then what will happen when the complex is formed? The ligand will approach. They will donate its pair of electron to the vacant hybrid orbitals and forming the complex. So now we'll discuss the assumptions of a valence bond theory. The central metal atom or ion makes available a number of empty sp(d) atomic orbitals equal to its coordination number. Then these vacant orbitals hybridize together to give rise to equal number of hybrid orbitals and of equivalent energy and shape. The ligands have at least one sigma orbital containing a lone pair of electrons. So that is another requirement. Then vacant hybrid orbitals of the metal atom or ion overlap with the field, that is the lone pair of electron of a sigma or sigma orbital of the ligand to form the ligand to metal sigma bond. And this bond is called coordinate bond. We already know what a coordinate bond is because one atom has to donate its pair of electron to the vacant orbital of another atom. So it is a special type of covalent bond and shows the characteristic overlapping of the orbitals. So however, it possesses the considerable amount of polarity because of its mode of formation. So here are some examples. When we have sp hybridization and its geometry is linear, and example is HgNH3 whole 2 plus. Similarly, if we have sp3 hybridization, you have a tetrahedral structure, and example is ZnCl4 2 minus. If we have a D2sp3, that is the inner octahedral, so FeCN6 3 minus. If we have a sp3d2, that is the outer octahedral complex, then the example is FeF6 3 minus. So Pauling found that a number of unpaired electrons n and the geometry of the complex ion having central metal ion are related. So what is the relation? So for octahedral complex, inner octahedral complex and outer octahedral complex, for D1 complex, the number of unpaired electrons same. Similarly, up to D3 it is same, but for D4 complex it is 2 for inner octahedral, and the number of unpaired electron for outer octahedral, that is 4. Similarly, for D8, inner octahedral 0, and for outer octahedral, that is 2. And in tetrahedral case, for D1 case, it is 1. For D5 case, it is 5. And D8 case, the number of unpaired electron 2. And for square planar complexes, for D1 complex, the number of unpaired electron 1. For D3 complex, it is 3. And for D8 case, that is 0. For 6 coordinate complex, mostly we will be talking about the octahedral complex. So if the outer 4d orbitals are used for bonding, then that is called outer orbital complex. If 3d level contain maximum number of unpaired electron, so it is called high spin or spin free complex. And if low energy inner 3d orbitals are used, then it is called inner orbital complex. So we have already discussed what is inner orbital complex and outer orbital complex. So mostly if you are using 3d orbitals, then this is inner orbital. If we are using outer 4d orbital, then that is called outer orbital complex. So here you can see this inner 3d and 4s and 4p orbitals used for hybridization. For outer orbital case, s orbital, 4s, 4p and 4d orbitals used for hybridization. So we already know if a complex has a maximum number of unpaired electrons, then that is called high spin or spin free complex, and it lead to paramagnetism. And if all the electron pairs are paired up, then that is called low spin complex, and it is called diamagnetic complex when it has no unpaired electron. So we have already discussed this. So let's start with a 4 coordinate system complex, that is a D6 metal ion. So we have 2 types of arrangement will occur, sp3 hybridization and dsp2 hybridization. So for example, cobalt complex, cobalt atomic number 27. So its configuration is argon 18 3d7 4s2. So cobalt plus 3 state means, so that is a d6 ion. So configuration will be 3d6 4s0. So for ml4 complex, so with d6 system, so this will be the configuration 3d6 4s0 4p0. So what happens here, there is a possibility that 4s and 4p orbital, they will hybridize to giving rise to sp3 hybridization, and those 4 ligands will donate its pair of electron to the sp3 hybrid orbitals, forming the ml4 complex or a metal complex. So if another case will arise for dsp2 case. So what will happen, one of the 3d orbital will go for pairing, so making one of the d orbital vacant in 3d orbital here, and so one d orbital, 4s orbital and 2 of the 4p orbital, they will undergo intermixing, giving rise to dsp2 hybrid orbitals. So while forming the complex, the ligands will donate its pair of electron to the vacant dsp2 hybrid orbitals, forming the dsp2 square planar complex. So now I would like to thank Notebook LM for making some slides for my notes for better understanding of the students. So please subscribe to our channel Chemistry Live UGPG. So this is the channel for class 11th and 12th students, Foundation Chemistry AB. So this is a simple step towards e-learning, making life better. Thank you all for learning.